Welcome to Lifestyle by SK, where wine, cigars, and relationships create that tapestry of extraordinary experience. Imagine moving to another country. Sounds exciting, right? But let's be real. It's not as simple as it looks. In the celebrity headlines, in celebrity posts, Instagram posts of people who may live overseas, today we're going to be talking about why it's tough for the average person and more than the average person to just basically be able to pick up and move to a different country overall. Now, we definitely want to make sure to compare this to celebrities who make it seem like it's done seamlessly and effortlessly. But there are a few things that we need to look at here. So when we're looking at our budget, we're looking at the flights and tickets, we're looking at visa fees. Some of you may be able to do that, some of you may not. But let's talk about the money first. Let's absolutely talk about the money first. We all know not many people in the US make more than $75,000 a year. So we're already, if a lot of us are talking about moving, or the ones that do, how many of them actually do it? So moving abroad means saving for months. It could be saving for years. And to cover the expenses like visas, flights, housing deposits, and much more. Meanwhile, celebrities out here, your favorite celebrities that we all know, have houses overseas. They have the financial freedom to make it happen without even breaking a sweat. And I'm talking about celebrities that are making the hundreds and millions of dollars a year, because that is a big difference between us and people who are able to afford these luxury villas abroad. Think about someone who may be working at McDonald's. They may be mad because their previous election just taking place, and they say, hey, you know what? I'm going to jump up and I'm going to move to Hawaii. Hawaii is still part of the U.S., but Hawaii is very expensive to live. So what makes you think that you're going to be able to just pick up and just move overseas because of an Instagram post that you've seen? I really want you to think about that, because there are some financial barriers around that. But then when we look at the visa and immigration challenges, you get go to a country, see people waiting in lines, long lines, trying to talk to immigration officers for filling out complicated paperwork. But the celebrity is basically what? Escorted through the airport. So imagine you just have your bag on your back. They have a private plane that they're getting off of, and they're escorted through the airport. But securing a visa, it's not an easy process. Securing residency is not an easy process. Some countries you can get residency in, some of them you cannot. But the paperwork is most definitely overwhelming. It's overwhelming. The approval is not guaranteed. But celebrities, on the other hand, they have qualified, and they qualify for special visas and simply bypass the process with their influence and the resources that they have. The more money you have, the more access that you're going to have to be able to do this. But then when you're looking at the job and the income stability around this, picture just the everyday average working person job seeking online for opportunities to be able to work abroad. They're going through the process, and then you look at a celebrity who's doing remote interviews and promoting products and getting jobs all over the world. But most of us need a job in order to sustain ourselves abroad. And finding one can most definitely be tough. It can be extremely tough. But if work permits are required, celebrities, they don't face this issue because their income streams follow them wherever they go. Your income stream does not. Just because you work at a McDonald's here in the US doesn't mean you can go to Makati City in the Philippines and work at McDonald's there. Even to some of the things that they serve is completely different. Do you understand the language? But then again, you're in the city center where it's heavy tourist attraction rather than going out to remote areas and actually learning the language. But we have to understand that there's a language and cultural barrier between us and where we're going, because someone who could be struggling to read a sign or communicate in another language, but a celebrity can use a translator or a guide that they're paying to do this. Imagine driving down the Autobahn, you looking at the speed limit, Haksgeben is kein Grenzug of 25, looking at the speed limit, trying to figure out what exit means, Asphalt, knowing the difference in the lanes of fast cars in the left lane, middle lane, most common cars and LK5s or trucks in the far right lane. Not a lot of people know that. You can't take what you do here in the US and put it into a different country. But do you think you can truly make it 24 to 48 hours in another country? Because I tell you something here, learning a new language and adapting to the culture takes time for an average everyday person. And it can be a struggle, but then you look at celebrities, once again, they're going to have the translators and they're going to have the cultural consultants to bridge the gap, because they're always going to have people around them that is going to help them. But, oh no, don't accidentally get hurt. We hadn't even talked about the health insurance perspective of that. A local hospital in much more rural areas may have longer lines, but a celebrity may have a private clinic or be surrounded by a medical staff. So you hadn't even considered that. This the healthcare provider that you have here, do they even work overseas? You really got to consider this, because healthcare is another major consideration, because the access and the quality are going to vary and the insurance is often a requirement. But you know what? Celebrities have those private doctors and exclusive clinics at their disposal at the drop of a dime, just with the phone call away. With the multiple phones that they may have, they're going to get on the phone, they're going to pick it up, they're going to actually call, or the person, their manager, is going to get up and do that for them. But then when you looking at the support network of people around them, a person alone in a foreign apartment scrolling through their phone, looking at family photos because they missed their family back home, versus a celebrity who's hosting a dinner party with their international friends in the house. So basically, you will be leaving behind your family and your friends because you're isolating yourself and you're building a brand new network in another country when you barely speak the language, you barely understand the dialect, you more than likely probably live in the heavy metropolitan areas as opposed to on the outskirts. Celebrities can avoid this. Excuse me. So celebrities can avoid this because the celebrities, they a lot of times can travel with the entourage, and or they may bring their family along with them as well. Now, what if you just get into trouble and you do something you're not supposed to do? Well, there's a pile of legal documents that is going to be waiting on you. Pile of legal documents is someone looking frustrated because they try to contrast with the lawyer at a meeting table. If they could probably make it there, but you have a celebrity, their lawyer is going to be right there. So you go from simple things like the property taxes that you may pay in a county that you live in the US. How would you be able to do that in another country? How would you be able to look at the property laws and taxes and the legal process of relocating? But then you have the celebrity over here. They're going to hire their team to handle all that, every detail, to make it much easier for them because of the logistics of their daily life. It's not about struggling to set up utilities like light, water, gas, transportation, and things like that. The celebrity's going to have a fully furnished home by the time they get on that plane and fly over to the country that they're going to. So what you seeing once again on Instagram, it's not the true reality. And I know what it's like to live overseas. I'm telling you from experience, being overseas for work and being overseas because that is your lifestyle is two completely different things. And I just use Germany as an example because I've been there, know what it's like to and live there. It's not the same as living here in the U.S. Because a lot of you think you got more rights over in other countries than you do here, but you will realize really quick when you get there that your rights and things that you do here does not apply there. But you haven't even gotten to the logistics of the everyday life, setting up the water bill, finding light water, gas, finding housing, navigating, using transportation. It's gonna be a headache. But you know what? Celebrities got the managers to do that for them before they even arrive. But you don't have that option yet. Are you sure you want to move to another country? As opposed, like a lot of you can't even move to another state 40, 50 miles up the road without struggling to get things turned on. How do you think you're going to make it overseas in another country? And I know it all sounds good because social media makes it sound so good. But don't fall into that trap because those unrealistic expectations that you have, the post going to show you the glamorous move abroad, but then they're not going to show you the behind the scenes clips of the real life struggles. So most people romanticize about moving abroad, so they picture a dream life. But in reality, it's going to be a huge adjustment and wake up call because celebrities don't face the same hurdles because their lives are curated to make it look perfect. For example, when I visited the Taj Mahal, we see the picture of the Taj Mahal. Beautiful, absolutely beautiful building and sight to see in person. But what they don't show you is behind the cameraman, which I've actually seen that. When I turned the camera around and looked, there were monkeys on the wall. It was extremely dirty. It was just old looking. But that was the real life reality. Like, I didn't think that this looked as nasty as it looked in India like this. But when I physically turned the camera around, looked at the Taj Mahal, the grass was perfectly cut, grass was perfectly green, and things like that. And those are things that people don't want to show you on social media. They want to show you all of the perfect stuff. But you have to make sure that you understand safety. For example, when you may have a person locking the door to their apartment, but then a celebrity may be living in a gated community with security guards. Two completely different things. So most people will need to be able to adapt to protect themselves because because the celebrities, they're gonna often live in exclusive communities with top-notch security. You don't necessarily have that. You have to keep this in mind, people, because when you're looking at an average person who's planning to move versus a celebrity and their new lifestyle, it's two completely different things. So before you decide to move abroad, think about the challenges ahead because it's not possible, but it's far from what you see on Instagram. You most definitely have to do your research and planning, but you could probably make it happen, but don't expect it to look like a celebrity lifestyle. But so I want to make sure that you all just definitely let me know in the comments if you ever thought about moving abroad. What could be holding you back? I know a lot of people was talking about moving based off this presidential election that happened in the United States, but we're not going to focus on the politics. Let's focus on real life because it doesn't matter who the president is or isn't. Will you be able to afford that lifestyle of you jumping up and moving to another country at the drop of a dime? So like, listen, subscribe to the channel, Lifestyle by SK, where wine, cigars, and relationships create that tapestry of extraordinary experience. You all have a good one.